Tractate Bava Metzia, page 111, A, Part 2, coming to you from the Hollywood train station, Metro, and with the words, Hani Di'ika B'yamama. The Gemara asks, but these 5 prohibitions do not all take effect at the same time, since those that are applicable by day are not relevant by night, while those that are applicable by night are not relevant by day. How can he be in violation of them all? Rav Chisda said it means merely that the general concept of withholding wages of a hired laborer includes all these prohibitions of one positive mitzvah. The Gemara asks, what is defined as oppression and what is defined as stealing? Ezahu Oshek ve'ezahu Gazel. And what is the difference between them? Rav Chisda said, if we told him, go and return, see Proverbs 3:28, avoiding paying him well, saying that he will pay him at some point, this is oppression. If he says to him, you have money owed to you in my possession, but I will not give it to you, this is stealing. Muscular Sheshes. Rav Sheshet objects to this from a Braita. What is the type of oppression for which the Torah obligated him to bring an offering? It is similar to the case of one who had been entrusted with money as a deposit, where he then denies that he accepted it and thereby keeping the money. This contradicts Rav Chisda's claim that oppression is referring to one who admits that he owes him. Rather, Rav Sheshet said that the difference is as follows. If he said to him, I gave it to you, this is defined as oppression. If he tells him, you have money owed to you in my possession, but I am not giving it to you, this is defined as stealing. Mosque of Labaya objects to this. What is the type of stealing for which the Torah obligated him to bring an offering? We require it to be similar to the case of one who had been entrusted with money as a deposit, where he then denies that he accepted it, thereby keeping the money. That is unlike the example of stealing given by Rav Chisda and Rav Sheshet, where a party withholding the money concedes that he owes it. Rather, Abayah said, if he said to him, I never hired you, this is oppression. If he claimed, I gave it to you, this is stealing. The Gemara asks, according to Rav Sheshet, what is the difference about oppression that he raised a difficulty against Rav Chisda concerning it? And what is different about stealing that he did not raise a difficulty, although Abaya's question was similar to his? The Gemara explains that Sheshet could have said to you, stealing means that he first stole it from him by stating that he will not give him the money and later denied owing it. The Gemara challenges, if so, then even with regard to oppression as well. Nice, we have 7 minutes. The case can be that the first conceded that he owes the wages and later denied it.
Metro has zero tolerance for smoking and illegal.
Why does Rav Sheshet say that the case must be where the employer says to the laborer, I gave it to you? The Gemara responds,
report any issues through the Transit Watch app, the station intercoms, or any uniformed personnel. If you see something,
say something. Gemara responds, how can these cases be compared? Granted, there is written, and if he deals falsely with his neighbor in a matter of deposit or pledge or robbery, Leviticus 5:21, which by inference indicates that he admitted to him at the outset. But with regard to oppression, it is written, or by oppression, or it is written, or he oppressed, which does not refer back to his previous denial, but is referring to the actual sin, indicating that he had already oppressed him. Rava said there is no need for such an artificial distinction, as oppression is the same as stealing. There is no practical difference, and no practical difference exists between the two categories. And why then did the verse divide them into two categories? He did this so that he will violate two prohibitions, stealing and oppression. So there's two different stealing, there's two different oppressions. Maybe a subtle difference, but they're basically the same thing. The Mishnah says, whether referring to a person's wages that he receives, or the renting of an animal, or the renting of utensils, all are subject to the prohibition of, on the same day you shall give him his wages, Deuteronomy 24:15, and are subject to the prohibition of The wages of a hired laborer shall not remain with you all night until the morning. Leviticus 19:13. When does he transgress these prohibitions? He transgresses them when one owed the money, claimed the payment from him. He did not claim his payment from him. The other does not transgress the prohibitions. If the one who owes the money transferred his payment by leaving instruction of the storekeeper or with a money changer to pay him, he does not transgress the prohibition. The mission discusses the other related halakha. If a hired laborer requires payment at the proper time and the employer claims that he had already paid him, the laborer takes an oath that he did not receive his wages and then takes the wages from the employer. If the time had passed, he does not take an oath and take the wages. He does not take and take the wages. If there are witnesses who testify that he claimed the money from him at the proper time, he takes the oath and takes the money. One who hires a Gentile who resides in Eretz Yisrael and observes the 7 Noachide laws is subject to the prohibition of on the same day you shall give him his wages, but is not subject to the negative mitzvah of the wages of a hired laborer shall not remain with you all night until morning. The Gemara says, Gemara asks, whose opinion is expressed in the Mishnah? Is it not that of the first Tana of the Braita who interprets the phrase from your brothers, Deuteronomy 24:14, and it is not Rabbi Rabbi Yossi, the son of Rabbi Yehuda? The Gemara clarifies what is this Braita and that is referred to here. The Gemara explains as it is taught in a Braita.